All right, my friends, welcome to episode 319 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. This week, we're talking about the Indie World Showcase, which got announced last week and then happened.
Yep.
And I thought it was pretty cool, actually.
It was pretty cool. I kind of knew it was going to happen. So, you know.
Ah, cool. Yeah, you probably hear some things, I bet.
Yeah, and actually we learned a special thing that they typically do two, one for the Western audience and one for Japan.
Oh, that makes sense.
And Astroneer was featured in Japan.
Is that where that was at?
Yeah.
I see.
Because Astroneer pre-orders went live in Japan. So
interesting. Okay. Yeah, because when you had showed that thing to us in Discord, to me in Discord or whatever, I thought, did I miss that? In the direct, I guess, or the showcase, I mean?
Yeah, no, it was just in Japan is where the showcase happened before Astroneer was showcased. We made a new trailer for that, and that was cool. It was fun. There's a lot of excitement for Astroneer in Japan, which is cool. Our publisher there, Playism, is super excited, and
cool.
They're even publishing a guidebook for the Japanese physical release.
Like a print one?
Yeah.
Whoa, gotta get your hands on that.
I'm like, I've told people at the office, I'm like, so how do we go about getting one of these or some? Because if we're not getting them, I'm going to find a way to get this through the gray market to get it here.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm really surprised we're getting actual physical, special stuff in Japan.
That's like a milestone, because I would, obviously I'm not making games, but I'd feel like as a kid, when we were kids, like the Prima guides or whatever were like kind of all around, and now that's not really a thing. So it feels like you missed the boat on getting a guide of your game, but you're getting a guide of your game. That's cool.
Just in Japanese. So
hey, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, it's still pretty cool in that way.
Yeah. You can brush up on your Japanese.
That was exciting. And then with that, from this indie world, Famitsu did a big write-up article on us.
Oh, man.
Coming out. So I'm like, I'm on a game that was featured in Famitsu. Dude. Holy shit.
Time to retire. That's great.
I know. It doesn't mean it. I'm like, why is this so exciting to me? But it just is. I guess just doing this for so long, Famitsu was always just kind of this thing you always know about from a Japanese market of the magazine that's like super big for games in Japan, and it's kind of cool to be featured in it.
Dang,
so
that is so cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, you weren't featured in the US version, but there were a lot of cool games that were. Really cool games, I thought.
Yeah, I definitely had a few that I was like, oh yeah, I want to try these.
Yeah, I thought it started off with a bang with Sea of Stars, which is the Messenger folks. That is got music by someone, I forget the name. You might know it. The composer, a composer who worked on
Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yasunori Mitsudo.
Thank you.
Matsuda.
Mitsuda.
It's kind of crazy to think that they have them working on it, on this small indie game.
Yeah. Excuse me. Whoa.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It just took my breath away, apparently. Man, it looks like Chrono Trigger, sort of. Not the graphically obviously it's updated, but it's the battle system, which I guess is just a lot of JRPGs. Yeah, I'm really interested in this. I like the Messenger. I played through half of it until it switched to the 16-bit.
Yeah.
And then I got kind of lost with it. But I really enjoyed the beginning of it, at least.
Yeah, this looked great. I mean, I am all over trying this game out when it comes out. And yeah, you're right. It's kind of Chrono Trigger-ish. I think their combat system has something else going on. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm intrigued enough that I want to play to see what it actually feels like. But pixel art wise, it looks incredible.
It does. I'm interested in this. I don't know, the dev team moving from the Messenger, which is definitely that Ninja Gaiden kind of side-scrolling thing, to something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are taking the games of their youth that inspired them and just making their own spin on it. So they were successful with the Messenger, so I have high hopes that they'll be successful here. But yeah, it was a great way to start the whole thing. Did they say when that's coming?
Holiday 22.
Okay, still got a
So
while.
so a year basically.
Yeah,
We'll see. We'll see, I guess.
we'll see.
Yeah. What else stood out to you from the showcase?
Let's see. The next one, the major one that stood out to me was After Love EP.
Mm.
Like this one really, I figured like you would be all over this one too. About
Yes, I like the theme
yeah.
very much.
Um,
But I don't know what comes after or Coffee Talk. Are those
I don't know him either,
games? Okay.
so I'm just doing it purely from seeing this trailer and what the
Yeah.
game's about, and like uh, love and loss and finding love again while writing music about it.
Yes. Yes.
Um, seems really cool, and the music
Yes.
seemed really nice. So it's and the art style stood out pretty well. Like it looks semi hand drawn in some ways.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Um, that was pretty exciting. I was definitely looking forward to something like that. I don't know, with these indie games now, after things like Unpacking, I'm like, give me the short burst of just lots of emotion. I want it.
Right.
And I think this one will. Trying to
And I
see if
think he's
I've
playing a Jaguar, which is cool.
yeah. Oh, I have not played Coffee Talk, but I know of Coffee Talk.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of both of these, but obviously didn't play them, so I don't know much about them. But I do like that it's a studio that's out of Jakarta, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool to have something different. Oh yeah, what comes after? I might check one of these out. They look pretty cool. The art style is really cool on what comes after. That's a pretty cheap one actually. It's like $4. I might check that one out.
Okay.
Side-scrolling adventure and heartwarming story about learning how to love yourself.
Okay.
Help Vivi in her journey on the train to the afterlife and back. Well,
Oh boy. Oh
that
boy.
sounds like something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might check that out.
I do appreciate the indie directs for focusing on studios from around the world.
Yeah,
It's always nice because there's so many games made outside of the Western part of the world and countries that don't get shown that often in these events, and I think Nintendo's stepped up, especially over like the past couple of years, to be like, no, we're going to feature a lot of these, and then usually give them interviews after they show the game.
Yeah, and I feel like they're uniquely. I guess I don't know if uniquely because Sony is originally or is whatever based out of Japan, but not really anymore. It's like based out of Europe now, I guess. And they have the California office, but Japan just seems, or Nintendo with being so Japan centric seems uniquely poised to kind of pull in from neighboring,
Yeah.
ASEAN region or whatever.
Yeah. So that was the next one that like really grabbed me. Not that the other ones, Alicia and Locomotive weren't cool, but After Love EP one I like made me sit up a little bit and be like, okay, taking note of that. We'll watch its development to see when it comes out.
Right. River City Girls 2. I haven't played the first one, but I'm always interested in beat 'em ups. I thought it looked pretty good. I like Way Forward, the work that they do. So that was pretty cool, I thought.
Yeah. I haven't played River City Girls either. What else has Way Forward done?
They did the not was it Alien? What was that one? It was like a Metroidvania. It's on the Switch using a licensed IP that was really good. It was I'm totally blanking. But they do Shantae, obviously.
Yeah, they did Shantae, River City Girls. They've done recently. They done a Bakugan thing. They're the ones doing the Advance Wars 1+2 reboot.
They are?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're the studio doing that. Nintendo contracted out to do that.
That's cool.
Trying to see. Yeah, Shantae, Marvel Puzzle Quest. They've just done a ton of stuff. I don't think any of it's like huge, and a lot of it's importing stuff, but I mean, they go back until their first game was 92.
Oh yeah, they've been grinding out, like especially IP, licensed IP games for a long time. But
wow.
that's where the Shovel Knight folks spun off of.
Yeah, no. I think that's a dream for a lot of these companies that do a lot of the licensing, just IP shops and like contract work, is to hopefully do their own thing at some point.
Yeah, I think Shantae's their stuff, right?
I believe it is. Yep, developer and publisher. So yep, all them.
Yep.
So I mean, I think that's the dream, and they get to live the dream. What they do on Bloodstained?
Not a clue, unless they're like a co-development.
I think
Did some
co-development, potentially
contract work or
co-development.
whatever.
Yeah. Huh.
Man, I'm so blanking on the Metroidvania they put out on Switch.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn. I'm gonna come up with it before the end of the podcast. Parkasaurus looked pretty cool, I thought. It's a dinosaur tycoon management simulator.
Yeah.
I'm now like have an eye out for games that I think my daughter would have fun with. And that looks like something that she might be interested in.
Make your Jurassic Park. Do it.
Yeah. Basically.
Except this is way cuter than Jurassic Park. The dinosaurs aren't running free eating people.
Yeah, it's like Jurassic Park Evolution, but like friendly.
Yeah.
I think it could be a small, cute experience for her. So I'll keep my eye on that. I'm not sure how well it will run. And sometimes the games that look really cute for her are not games that, review terribly well.
Yeah.
So I'll keep my eye out at least. Chicory, though, is coming to Switch, man.
Yep. Guess I'm playing it on Switch.
Yeah, I think that sounds perfect.
It's out now, I believe.
Yep, it's out now.
Yeah, it came out the day that this aired, or the day a couple days before. I'm trying to see when the 15th was. That was Wednesday. So yeah, that was when
should have been when it aired.
Yeah, when it aired. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's the place to play it. Everyone's been talking about this game. So
yeah, dude. Yeah, my daughter wants to start a new adventure game tomorrow. I told her it's my morning tomorrow. She's like, "Oh, great! Is it a Baby Link day?" Like, nope, that's on Saturdays. Okay, great. Is it a Kina day? Well, we've beaten that game twice. We're gonna try something else. I want an adventure game like Link or Kina. Okay, I don't know if this one's it. I'll find something appropriate for her. But I think she would really like this.
Yeah.
So we'll check it out. So I'm glad that's out. What else stood out to you?
I'm trying to check here.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead. No, please. Timeline?
Timeline. Mostly because cats.
Oh, time lie, excuse me. Oh, yeah.
Time lie, and I don't know. It's unique. I do like the art style, like the simple art style. Maybe reminds me a bit of Astroneer in that way. The low poly, clean colors, but I don't know. There's something interesting about a stealth thing where you control time and have cats as helpers.
Kind of reminds you of Clay art style a little bit.
It does. It actually does remind me of I'm going to get
Invisible
it wrong.
Ink.
Is it Invisible Ink? Is what they went with? Is the final name?
I thought it was Invisible Ink.
Invisible Ink. No,
Invincible Ink.
Invisible. It's just I get confused because for the longest time in development while I was watching it, the name of it was Incognita.
Oh, okay.
And they eventually changed the name, where Incognita was the name of, I believe, the like AI computer in the game. But they changed it for, I don't know why, but I just always knew it as Incognita. So I get confused. I'm like, is it Incognita or is it Invisible Ink? Whatever that game was. But yes, it has it
looked a lot like that.
A lot like that. Although this one is totally not trying to be where Invisible Ink was trying to be roguelike and procedural and the whole thing. This is very designed out experience, which could be fun.
The other one that people were talking about was Omori, and I don't know anything about Omori.
I don't know anything either. Was it the end?
It was at the very end. Yeah, exactly.
Again, this hand-drawn art style going on. Clearly dealing with, I don't know, like
relationships of some
relationships, love, loss stuff again.
It just seems like a known entity because I felt like it was so abstract. I'm like, I don't know what this is. But people seem to be very excited that it was coming back. So maybe it's already been out. I don't know.
Mori on Steam. You can get it on Steam right now.
Oh, okay.
Explore a strange world full of colorful friends and foes. When the time comes, the path you have chosen will determine your fate and perhaps the fate of others as well. On Steam right now, of all reviews, it has almost 27,000 reviews. It's overwhelmingly positive.
Okay.
Sitting in at a 98% positive review.
Okay, well then.
I mean, that's Hades level of positive
Yeah.
reviews. Oh, actually, looking at it, it looks Undertale-ish.
In terms of, okay, because this doesn't have any gameplay. This is just like,
Yeah, no, like the gameplay screens, it reminds me of Undertale. It's that type
okay.
of party-based RPG going on. Man,
Oh,
Undertale influenced so much in indie games. My God.
oh God,
Uh,
it does. Yeah, you're right.
God, that game. It's not a bad thing. I'm just like, my God.
Yeah, how influential that was.
Yeah.
So this
So
came
this,
out December 2020, so a year
yeah,
ago. It's
a
been on
year ago
Steam.
on
Okay,
PC. Yeah.
got it. Okay,
Clearly,
no wonder
people
people
really
knew it.
like it.
Says it's similar to the Moon on my Steam.
Oh, okay then.
Huh.
Well, that's a thing. Oh yeah, for mine, more like this: Undertale, To the Moon, um, Pyre.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Chrono Trigger.
Game contains depictions of depression, anxiety, and suicide and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Okay, so it's probably a
Okay.
heavy story.
Yeah.
Good to know.
One review is absolutely devastated every fiber of my being.
Oh no. Oh,
Next one
another
is,
review.
go ahead.
Sorry, I see one. Tears.
That's what I was about to say too. Tears. And then two below that says scary Undertale. Oh
Wow, have you
man.
seen the hours that these people put in? That first
Um.
that first one you said absolutely devastated every fiber of my being has
Oh,
386 hours?
that must be idle time, right? That's just like up and running.
Maybe? I mean, the
But yes,
Tears one is 50 hours,
yeah. Scary Undertale's 5.2 hours.
but there's a lot on here like 57, 73,
Yep.
37, 31,
Someone
51.
says, "Please help! I'm addicted." That's 37 hours.
Something, there must be something more to this game than
Yeah.
a simple like, oh, just start and play and continue through to an end.
Whoa, this game has changed me forever and discusses anxiety and depression in ways I could never articulate for myself. Excellent music, great art, charming characters, bittersweet story. That is a good review.
Okay, let's add this to the list of something I
Ah,
need to play.
yeah, I'm doing the same thing. Yeah, it's kind of interesting about the indie world showcase. Sometimes the games are elsewhere, and it's like, okay, well, I don't know when this is coming to Switch. I guess I don't remember.
Spring 2022. So,
Right, where it's like, okay, I could just get it on Steam now,
yeah.
kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I thought it was an overall really nice indie world showcase.
I agree. It was a nice way for Nintendo to end out their year. So, they do this, and then usually they have a Nintendo Direct in January most
Yeah,
of the
that's
time.
usually how it goes.
Um,
I'm hoping, because I don't know if we know anything about 2022 for Nintendo. Do we? Obviously, Breath of the Wild is at
they
some
they've
point in
they've
the future.
complete they've I saw a actually article on Nintendo Life. We're talking that there's still commitment that the sequel to Breath of the Wild will be in 2022.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, if anything, it's the holiday release of 2022, but
Yeah.
we'll see if they make that or not.
Well, it can't be a March release. That's
No,
obvious,
no,
so.
I 100% think it would be a holiday release
Yeah.
if it comes out comes out in 2022, because that will be their big system seller for
Oh yeah.
next holiday.
Well, and it's kind of a nice bookend to the system that came out in 2017, launched with Breath of the Wild, and I don't know, 2022 into 2022. That's kind of getting toward the end of the life cycle of the Switch, isn't it?
I think they would probably in 2023 announce the next thing with it coming out either fall 2023 or spring 2024.
Yeah.
Just depending on microprocessor production, the whole thing. There's a lot that
Yeah,
could go
exactly.
into like
Chip
making
shortage.
how long it would take them to ramp up. But
Yeah.
I think fall, winter 2022, or between then and 6 months after, there's probably a new Nintendo console, even if it is just the Switch 2 or something. Like,
I hope it is. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, Nintendo, but I don't know why they would do something drastically different when this has still got so many legs to it.
Yeah. I think in a lot of ways, I would hope that they would just basically continue and be like they have done effectively with the GBA, the Game Boy line. of
Right.
just generally improving on it, being like, no, it's still a Game Boy, but it has new features. It's better processor and the whole thing. So I'm sure there'll be some new feature for whatever the next Switch is.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's the same form factor, basically, with the docking and everything. But what that other feature is, who knows? That's Nintendo's craziness all the time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But now they've got, this. I don't know if they see it this way, but competing with the Steam Deck in terms of not Nintendo games, obviously, but the portable gaming
maybe
third-party indie thing.
Maybe. I have a hard time seeing Nintendo considering it much of a competitor.
I don't think they do at all, because what they see with their unique hardware plus their unique first-party software, no one touches that shit. Like, no one competes on that. So
yeah,
they don't really need to think about it.
I'm trying to think. So what we know from Nintendo for 2022 right now, they have Pokemon Legends, Arceus.
Right, that's true.
Into January. They have Advance Wars 1+2 reboot. That got delayed till April. They have Triangle Strategy. Oh, geez.
Right.
In March, they have a Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Oh, that's right.
In spring. Splatoon 3 is sometime next year.
Oh, never mind. That kind of sounds like a pretty good year already.
And then Mario plus Rabbids, Spark of Hope.
All right, clear the decks. Nothing else matters.
Bayonetta 3 is slated for sometime next year.
Mm-hmm.
Silk Song, some point.
Just give me Silk Song. I don't need anything else.
Breath of the Wild 2. I mean, and theoretically, there's still Metroid Prime 4 at some point.
Oh my God. I guess. There's no way. I don't think it comes out next year at all.
Probably not at this point.
Yeah.
I'll just continue to sit on that pre-order that I have.
Right. It'll be just like not a relic, but like a badge of honor.
It kind of feels like it.
Yeah.
Nah, but I think Nintendo already has a decent year.
Yeah, I forgot about all that shit, man. Yeah, you're right. That's already pretty good. And I hope they've got some sort of 3D Mario cooking too, because that's as far away as Breath of the Wild really is.
Yeah, I would think so. I feel like there's probably at least a Mario game next year. Is it how grand of one? I have a hard time saying, but
I would take a new 2D fucking Mario game for them.
I mean, think of a 2D Mario done with the I mean, I guess they've done it before, but like the quality and responsiveness of like Dread.
Oh yeah.
Just do Mario in like at least in an engine of that quality. That could be a lot of fun.
Well, they were playing around with some new 2D ideas in Odyssey, and I would just love to see them spin that out into it, even if it's just like a short experience, like they did with Treasure Tracker. That was a Mario 3D World thing, and then they spun it off into a small thing that's just fabulous. So
yeah, so we'll see. I figure they have something planned though.
Yeah,
they have enough internal studios and teams making things. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm excited. I'm glad Nintendo went out well with an indie thing, showing off some cool games from around the world that I probably would have passed over, honestly.
Yeah, they certainly elevate them in a way that other companies really aren't.
Yeah, I mean, Sony has fallen off so hard on that, I guess, after who left that was running their indie initiative.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't Layden who was running indie. I thought Shohei was running the indie side. Maybe not.
It was the whole outreach.
Massengill. Justin Massengill?
Yeah, maybe.
Because he went to Oculus or whatever. Facebook. That's Oculus, right?
Yes, that is Oculus.
I thought it was Justin Massengill who was running that and then left. But you're right. Around that same time, it kind of just like...
Yeah, I mean, we figured it was probably likely going to happen. I think you could probably find the podcast where we talk about it. Where I was like, who knows how this is going to go? I don't know who they're going to put in. Clearly, it just became not a priority to focus on indie stuff anymore. They're just very, very focused on their first party and major third party titles.
Well, yeah, and it's the thing that a first party or whatever platform can provide that others cannot. But I feel like you strain your relationships with the indie devs or whatever, and you can't fill that catalog as well. I don't know if they even care, but Nintendo seems to, and that's great. And the Switch is the fucking, even though I'm stuck at home, Switch is still a great place to play it portably. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of playing portably, what have you been playing this week? Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm leveling a paladin, which I'm loving. I'm already at level 58 of the paladin. I'd started it. I think I had it originally at like level 2 or 3. So it's very fast to level alternate jobs in the game, because once you have a character at max level, all of your... I'm trying to think of... You get like bonus experience when leveling alternate jobs. So
Oh, that's cool.
the speed that I gain levels is pretty crazy from just doing like daily dungeons and going through what they call roulettes, which is, hey, I want to do a leveling dungeon. So you just say you queue yourself into the roulette and you get paired with people. Playing as a healer or a tank, it's pretty much you queue and immediately get to go to something. So
Right.
And those last like 15-20 minutes, and I usually get a level and a half out of those.
Pretty efficient.
It's very efficient. So they definitely don't make it a chore to level alternate jobs. So I figured I wanted to get a tank up to max level as well. When I'm not doing that, I've been focusing on a storyline, quest line that I kind of ignored, which was the gentleman detective Hildebrand. And it's the goofiest shit ever, and I love it.
That's awesome.
It's like slapsticky. It's absurdity. It's very like cartoony in ways. Like they use their like facial animation systems to make the characters just do crazy like exaggerated smiles and everything, and use very exaggerated sound effects. And so that's been fun to get through. And I think I've ignored it, but I think they've done big quest chains from this, like the Gentleman Detective quest chains from each expansion. So it just keeps going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you never did any of them from the beginning?
No, because you don't have
wow.
to. It's all side content.
Right.
But I mean, it's a lot. And I went through probably an hour and a half, 2 hours of it. And it unlocked this character called Gilgamesh, which is in all... At least since Final Fantasy V, I think probably earlier. Gilgamesh is a big swordsman that shows up and is goofy as fuck. Always. And no matter what Final Fantasy they show up in. And I didn't even know that was part of this quest chain. I didn't even know Gilgamesh was in 14. I should have known that it would be there somewhere. But it took a couple hours, it shows up and is a part of this quest chain and is goofy and silly as ever. It's, yes, based on the Epic of Gilgamesh, kind of that character.
Right.
But just with a spin of comedy to it. And it unlocks like an 8-man fight against him, which I did. You have to do for the rest of the quest. And I'm like, why is this here? How did I get to this?
It's so cool to be uncovering shit in a game that you've so thoroughly played and still finding like new things to enjoy.
I feel like I've probably only experienced 40% of this entire game overall.
I feel the same way about The Witcher. When we were watching that last night, I was thinking, I'm kind of jonesing to get back into it. And I'm like, oh, I should start over again. It's like, no, I should jump back in, with my expansion character and go do like Hearts of Stone, because I didn't do that on the PC. I did it on, PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah.
There's so many. By that point, I was just mainlining it. There's so many side quests that I fucking still haven't done. Then it's my favorite game of all time, and there's still a ton of shit I haven't experienced. I should go do that.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised on how good quality content is just sitting around there. Honestly,
Right.
Probably some of their best content is some of that side content.
Well, Kardik last night was talking about some lady with spoons, and I was like, I want to know more about this.
Yeah, that was in Blood and Wine.
Yeah,
I guess it wasn't mainline. It's not long. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. I still hold that Blood and Wine is the perfect encapsulation of The Witcher 3. Like, it's everything great about the Wild Hunt portion of the game, just how it plays, but pays so well.
Yes.
And so perfectly. Doesn't feel like it's trying to pad anything. Like, there's just enough side content to do to feel like it's a full experience, but not overwhelming, or I guess you can miss stuff in it too, because you didn't see the spoon lady.
Yeah, unless I'm completely forgetting it, but
I
That
don't.
seems weird enough to remember.
Yeah, no, it was definitely weird. So yeah, no, all I've played is Final Fantasy 14. I think by the end of the year I need to play Shin Megami Tensei 5. Um, since
You've
I
got
have
what,
that
12
now.
days?
I know. I at least need to pop it in and start playing a little bit of it.
Cool.
And I guess Bravely Default 2? At least
Right.
did that come out this year? It did come out this
Yes,
year.
it did this year. It did. Yep.
It's February. Okay.
Yep. I know. I was thinking about Bowser's Fury. And I was like, wow, that was last. No, that was this year. February feels like a long ways away. Jesus Christ.
I know, because I'm
What'll-
now trying to think of. Yeah, it was February when Persona 5 Strikers came out in the US
Oh, wow. Really?
of this year. I'm like, oh, that was 2020. No, that was February 23rd, 2021.
You got quite a few games to consider then.
I actually have wrote down. I think I have a. I think if we do a top five, I've got
Yeah,
a
we do
lot
top five.
I got a lot to choose from. Like
Cool. Yeah.
it's going to be a little bit of a hard to pick to those five.
Yeah, for a top 5, I think I've only really played 5 new games this year.
Yeah.
So it's like jumbling those up. I do want to get. My fucking goal is to get to Artful Escape before the end of the year. I want that to be in consideration. So I will fucking do it somehow. Play less music is basically what I need to do because I'm basically done with the semester after
Nice.
tomorrow. So yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very excited. And I need to keep it on the down low for my wife, who continues her semester on January 3rd, whereas I don't.
Ooh.
Yes, it's a source of tension.
What else
fun
did
tension.
I do? I should
Good
actually.
natured, I should say.
I realized
that?
I did. We're talking about what playing this week. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy. I realized I'm like, no, I was game jamming this entire week. So
Oh, right.
I
You were
finished the
making a
game. I was making a game. I'd work up until like 5:30, just like going crazy on this game jam. Help make dinner, have dinner with my kids, get them to bed, and then by like 8:30, I was back at my computer working for another couple hours.
Right.
Most nights, there was a couple nights in the week I was just like, nope, I just need to do something else. I can't keep this pace up and feel good. So,
Am I allowed to ask how it went?
I'm sure. I mean,
How did it go?
my team won, so
Yeah, baby.
That felt good. I had a good idea, or at least I thought it was a good idea, and I had a good team behind me, and we executed very well. I will say that I am my own worst critic going into it. I was like, yeah, I made something cool, but man, a lot of people in the studio made lots of cool things. So, I didn't think my idea in the game that we made stood out better than those other people's. But clearly the rest of the studio thought it did. I guess if I had been in the office, because there's a chunk of them when I went to the office on a Friday to play the games and see what's going on. I later learned that the CEO of the company, he was doing his thing while there, but he's like, oh, I knew your game was going to win from the start because yours was the one that was on everybody's screen when I walked around. Like everyone was just playing it and would keep playing it. So I was like, okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Sometimes, yeah, thank you. Sometimes you have to be reminded that you're actually decent at your job. And it was a nice reminder that I can design fun things. So, because like
You're
I said,
certainly good at what you do.
I'm my own worst critic most of the time, as I would say most creative people are.
Oh my God, I was having that conversation this weekend with some musician friends who might be listening to this. You fucks. Stop self-critiquing yourself so much that you never do anything. So hard.
You're never going to stop self-critiquing. You just have to be willing. It's still good enough. Like,
absolutely. Yep.
Like, be proud of what you make. It will never be done, but you can still be okay with what you've made. So, and getting to that point is hard.
I find it so interesting in creating, new things that you kind of like lay down, like song-wise. Like I lay down 75% of it in one go, and then I come back and lay down another 20%. And then that last 5% takes many more days, and then you just face diminishing returns. You're like, okay, this is. I'm not going to add anything like brilliant to this. This is done. Now I need to like edit it down and wrap it up.
Yeah, the phrase I've always used is the last 10% takes 90% of the time.
Yes, exactly.
And it does. And I don't think that's different for most creative efforts. So, but at some point, you just have to stop working on that last 10% and go, it's fine. People can see this.
Yeah, and a lot of music production, kind of like live streams, whatever that I listen to while I'm working or whatever, is like, I'm at the point now where I'm at that last 5%, and I'm tweaking these things that no one's gonna fucking notice except for me. So I should be done. I should stop.
Yep. Yep.
Uh,
So.
yep. Yep.
But yeah.
Congratulations. That's so
Thank
cool.
you.
Great news.
It was I had a great time. Great team. There was me and 3 others, and they helped me see that vision through to the end. Asked the right questions, pushed me in the right way as I'm like solving certain problems in the design.
Right.
Because creation, like, that's the thing with it, is especially in games, it's a very collaborative thing. Like, yeah, there are some designers out there that are like the one-man powerhouses that just go and make their game, but I'm not one of those, and I like to work with other people, and I want to put my ideas out there, and I want people that I trust to critique it, give me feedback, honest feedback, give me their own ideas, and we can start just kind of it's game jam, just jamming on those ideas, and ideally have something better on the other side.
So. Right. Yeah, that's why collaboration is so cool.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me feel alive. I'm glad you have found the success, and I wish I could play it because I loved your last one, but alas.
Not yet.
Yep. This week I spent some time with Breath of the Wild with my daughter. She took over the controls for a lot, and she is just figuring it out, man. She was climbing places. She was jumping off. She didn't want to paraglide. She'd have me paraglide for her, but she was running everywhere, climbing everywhere, helping me solve shrine puzzles. This game is so great, and it's the same thing it did with us. She would see something in the distance and say, "Daddy, can we go there?" So yeah, let's go. And we would just go that way. She would just get up high, see something, and want to go there. And that was, that's how you play that fucking game. So it's been really fun re-experiencing Breath of the Wild, especially with her. And the other game we played this week, after wrapping up Kena, we wrapped up Paper Mario. We basically had the last boss fight to do, and we did that, and it was cool. She's crazy. She's 4.5 now, and we last beat the game when she was 3.5, a year ago, basically, maybe even 3. It was in the summertime, actually, a little over 3, and she remembers like little nuances of the story, which is so cool. To just it pops out, she's triggered by something she sees or hears or whatever, but she knows it. But last time she was super sad when Olivia was basically destroyed, because fucking Nintendo doesn't want any of these characters to outlive this game so they can be put into other fucking IP. So at the end of the game, spoiler, sorry, everyone's gone except for the characters, but last time she was like so sad, and this time she was fine. So we wrapped that up. So we've beaten Paper Mario and the Origami King twice. We've beaten Kena twice. And we moved on to Abzu, which was really cool. I think we got probably halfway through. I don't think she's interested in continuing, because it's really just exploration, and there aren't too many interesting puzzles for her. But it really is this underwater kind of journey. I mean, journey like capital J, journey, the game journey that this company did before. Just underwater exploration, solving some really interesting, subtle puzzles, and progressing through the underwater environment, collecting different kinds of underwater creatures to pad out the, codex or whatever. So that's the other thing we've played, and that's really it. I've played with her, and that's it. This last week was brutal.
Yeah.
At work. But come out the other side, and I'm feeling really proud of the work my students have done for sure. And then my admin work, the work that I've managed to just keep corralled for the whole semester has been nothing short of Herculean, and I feel pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, so it's miraculous that you've survived this past month. I will say.
I agree. Yes.
Or I would say you survived and everyone around you survived.
Yeah. I agree. And I know there's more work to do moving forward, and I've got one more semester in this role, and to kind of see it out and see it on to the next person, there's a lot of documentation to do, but I feel pretty good. We're moving into accreditation, which is kind of the next big bump on the horizon. But luckily, I've worked a lot of extra time and taken it as load bank, which is what we call it. So I didn't get paid for it, basically. So I just banked the hours, and I'm unbanking them and releasing part of my schedule next semester. So I'm looking forward to that, so I can focus on wrapping up my current project with all the energy that it needs and not turning it into a diamond like I did this semester.
Man, I want to do that with hours. That's
it,
awesome.
it is quite nice.
I guess that would helps if you have PTO, I assume, like actual hours of PTO.
We don't have anything called PTO.
Okay.
We have sick days, and then we have
Okay.
personal time. So,
I don't
but
know how.
it's cool. But it's basically like, my load is, whatever, 100% load. But to get
Yeah.
those extra hours, you work extra
Oh,
load
sure.
and then just bank those. So you're basically, I don't feel like you're working any fewer hours. You're just
No.
condensing them all. So yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
happy
never
to.
mind. That could lead to some serious burnout.
It's not, I think you got to do it. I've gained these extra hours slowly over the years.
Yeah.
I think some people like amass them quickly, and it's just like I can't do that. Because I do so many extra things that are not part of my load. So I've done it slowly, and I'm just unleashing them all next semester so that I can. I need a mental break, and this is going to
Yeah.
be it.
I can
Um,
understand.
yeah. So yeah, that's me. That's it. Anything else for this podcast?
No, I don't think so. With next weekend being after the holidays and Christmas, I was presenting that we don't record next week.
Yeah, I think we will skip that, and we'll come back for our
The
game of the year.
second, record
Yeah,
on
we'll
the
come back
second,
for our
release on the third.
exactly. We'll come back for our game of the year discussion,
Yeah.
which will be January 3rd. I think that's correct. That's the Monday my
Yeah.
wife goes back to work. So everyone, please enjoy your holiday break, and we will be taking a break until January 3rd.
All right, everyone. Take
All
care.
right, folks. See ya.